Do you know how important Monet is to the world of art and modern life? Before Monet, painters chased perfect crisp outlines. After Monet, they chased the air between them. This one canvas of Monet's coined an entire art movement. He turned art from objects into perception, and nothing has looked the same since. So, how did a simple French painter, obsessed with colour and light, completely change the way we see the world around us? Let's find out. Claude Monet's Impression Sunrise, 1872, introduced a radical new painting style that would later be called Impressionism. When this hazy sunrise scene was first exhibited in Paris in 1874, many critics were baffled. One reviewer, Louis Leroy, mockingly dubbed Monet and his friends Impressionists after the title of this painting, implying their work was just an unfinished impression of a scene. The uptight critics didn't get that Monet's unfinished look was entirely intentional. It was his bold answer to a problem in art at the time. Traditional paintings were polished and precise. They failed to capture the feeling of a fleeting moment. In the mid-19th century, the art establishment demanded realism and fine detail. Monet's approach flew in the face of these norms. In fact, 2 of his early paintings were rejected from the official salon in 1867 for looking too rough and unfinished. The problem was that academic art couldn't or wouldn't portray the ever-changing quality of light and life. Monet and a group of like-minded young painters were determined to change that. They felt that art needed a new vision. One that reflected what the eye really sees in an instant, not the idealized scenes taught in art school. Monet's solution was revolutionary. He took his canvas outdoors and began painting en plein air, in the open air, directly from nature. Instead of careful outlines and smooth blending, he used loose, energetic brushstrokes and bold dabs of color. If a shadow looked blue to his eye, he painted it blue. If a sunset sky looked orange, he'd splash on pure orange. He once said that other artists might paint a bridge or a boat, but he wanted to paint the air in which the bridge, the house, or the boat are found. Essentially, Monet set out to paint light itself. By abandoning strict realism, Monet embraced the impression of a scene, capturing the atmosphere, light, and colour of a moment before it changed. The result? Monet and his friends launched an art revolution. In 1874, they held their own independent exhibition, the one I mentioned at the start the art critics mocked. And that event is now regarded as the birth of Impressionism. At first, many ridiculed Monet's paintings as looking incomplete or messy, but after persevering, the fresh style caught the public's eye. Viewers were drawn to the brightness and immediacy of Monet's art. It felt alive, and more importantly, it felt modern. Over time, that scornful label of impressionist became a badge of honor. Monet's Impression Sunrise, once dismissed as just a sketch, is now celebrated as the painting that named a movement and changed the course of art history. If you're enjoying this look at how Monet changed the world of art, please like and subscribe. As a new channel, it really helps us get seen by more people. Monet didn't stop at sparking a new movement. He continued to push the boundaries of how we perceive our surroundings. One way he changed our vision was through his famous series paintings. He would paint the same subject repeatedly at different times of the day to show how dramatically light could alter it. For example, Monet painted dozens of views of haystacks in different sunlight. and over 30 canvases of the Rouen Cathedral facade in the morning, noon, and twilight. Placed side by side, these paintings revealed an astonishing truth. The grey stone cathedral could glow pink at dawn or blue at dusk, depending on the light. Through Monet's eyes, the public began to realise that colour and appearance aren't fixed. In his later years, at his Giverny home, Monet became obsessed with capturing his water lily pond as the light changed throughout the day. He created approximately 250 water lily paintings between 1899 and 1910. Huge canvases that verge on abstraction. Stand close to one and you might see brush strokes of pastel tones. Step back and those strokes bloom into reflections of willows, sky, and lilies floating on the water. These paintings draw you into an almost dreamlike experience, as if you're gazing at the pond through Monet's own eyes. By surrounding the viewer with large panels of colour and light, Monet made art an immersive experience. You feel the atmosphere, the time of day, the mood. It was a completely new way to view landscape paintings, not as window-like pictures, but as environments of their own. Monet's influence spread far and wide. His daring technique and fresh vision inspired countless artists after him. In fact, without Monet leading the way, we might not have the bold colours of Vincent van Gogh, the daring paintings of John Singer Sargent, or the expressive abstractions of Mark Rothko decades later. As one art historian noted, Monet's revolutionary approach paved the way for future generations of artists. He bridged the gap between the realism of the 19th century and the experimentation of modern art. If you enjoyed this look at Monet's genius, just wait till you hear about John Singer Sargent's El Jaleo. It's a tale of scandal, flamenco, and a masterpiece that had everybody talking.